I'd like to welcome all of you to my kitchen. So today I'm going to be sharing with you and teaching you how to create an awesome coffee mug in less than 10 minutes. The first thing that you're going to want to do is clean off all the clay that has been left there from the last time you created something, whether that was 5 seconds ago or yesterday. Make sure it's a little bit damp before you throw your clay. And we're going to try to center our clay. And to do that, we create a cone using our hands, pressing inward and a little bit upward, and then pushing it down, just like so. That actually centers your clay perfectly. And you need perfectly centered clay to give you the least resistance when it comes to actually shaping your clay. So right here, I'm creating a well in the middle of my mound. And inside, you're going to have a little cone inside on the bottom. So you want to smooth that out. And also, you want to compress the entire bottom by running your finger or a sponge along the bottom. You're compressing the clay on the bottom so that when it's drying, it doesn't crack. It'll also help it fire properly without cracking. And so you can see my thumb, I'm running along the bottom of the piece inside there, just smoothing it out and also compressing it. So I'm using a little bit of force. You obviously don't want to move all the way to the surface of the wheel or you'll ruin the bottom. And so pretty soon here, I decide that I'm going to raise my clay, and we call that pulling. And so I'll do my first pull. I'm always adding some slip inside the hole and water. There's a great deal of tension and friction while you're pulling, so you want a lot of water and a lot of slip. You're just going to move your hands slowly upward while squeezing them together. And here's my second pull. One thing I noticed about this is it is easier and gets easier and easier every single time you do it. The more practice that you could give, the more technique and method that you'll get back. And make sure you're watching till the end of this video because I'm going to show you my technique when it comes to removing your clay piece from the pottery wheel, which is very, very important. And there are a few tricks that if you don't know them, you will be struggling a lot. So right here, I'm showing my wife how I hold my hand, and I'll show you too. I use my left hand, since it's counterclockwise spinning inside. I'll be pressing against my thumb with my right hand upside down. I'm using the fingers of my right hand to hold the cup steady. You don't want to just pull from one side without holding the rest of the pot. You always want contact on as many parts as that you can. So I'm getting to the desired height already. I'm going to take off all that beautiful slip. I'm going to put it on the inside and outside of my coffee mug, knowing that it's going to help a lot when it comes to losing a lot of that friction that's involved when it comes to pulling and with shaping. Every single time you create anything, you have to keep in mind that at any certain point, disaster can strike and it could just flop right to the ground. So in that case, make sure you do everything methodical and just slow down. Sometimes when we learn how to create a pull, we just want to get that pull done so quickly. Instead of doing that, pay attention to your pull, trying to get all the pull lines at a proper space. So right here, I'm probably thinking, okay, I'm getting pretty close to finished when it comes to the height of my cup. So right now I'm pinching the top with one hand. In the other hand, I'm bringing one finger between my pinch to the top and the rim and the lip of the cup. It makes it so it becomes even and level. There is a small wobble in this cup, and I will be able to fix that when I start trimming it. So I'm just bringing the cup in a little bit, and when you squeeze or tighten around your piece, what you're doing is you're making all the clay everywhere a little bit more thick. And so I'm looking at this shape. I kind of created a little Coca-Cola bottle waist on it, and I definitely like that look, but I think that I might make it bellied out instead. You could do this. You're never restricted to doing one thing. That's the beautiful thing about clay, is you can make it do whatever you want it to do. And so I decided to belly it out, and on that I saw that it started getting a little bit wobbly. When it gets wobbly, just relax. I'm going to give it a hug. I'm going to put my thumbs on the top, wrapping it in, and just lightening that wobble a little bit, distributing the tall clay around the rim, making it more level. And that's as easy as it is. And you'll get better and better at it. A lot of you out there are going to be a lot better than me one day. So right now I'm just getting some of the residual liquid out of the cup, as you definitely don't want any of that on there or in there. When it's drying, you want it to be dry. You don't want a pool of water leaching through your whole cup overnight. It would just make it so you'd have to dry it for a long time, and you don't want to have to do that. So now I'm getting my rib tool. I like the metal one because you could bend it at an angle. I'm going to use that to smooth out my entire cup. So I just bring it along the side at an angle so it doesn't stab in. I'm going to do the top side. Bringing it I barely touch the cup when I do this. Barely touching it. And then you're bringing it more closely to the cup, using your eyes, looking at the contact, and seeing exactly where you're at. I'm teaching my wife how to hold this spike right here, this wooden spike. I'm going to take out the residual and continue my pattern through this clay down here. I'm going to choose my path, and I'm going to go straight toward the wheel. I'm not cutting in, I'm pushing down at the angle that I desire. So I'm going to keep pushing, and I'm going to keep pushing until I feel that wheel down there. I'm going to slowly move it away from my piece, very slow right here. And there you go. And then you hit the opposite way, scraping it on the wheel to take all that off. I'm going to do the same thing again, very slowly, very gently, forward motion, downward motion, to get this a little more smooth. And obviously, like I said, when you're done, you're going to be able to take care of everything when it comes to trimming the next day. You want to trim the next day. You don't usually want to trim the second day after drying. It gets harder and harder to trim. And here it is. One thing you have to do when you're done is clean off your slip off of your hands. Be very careful not to leave that on your hands, because when you take your piece off of your wheel, you'll be very frustrated. Now you can see I'm drying my hands. I'm actually getting liquid off of my hands. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'm going to post every single day. Today's March 11th, 2022. So here it is. Bring your wire tool from the back and pull it towards you. Just keep on pulling it. There you go. And then you're going to take 4 fingers, index and middle on each hand, palm up, and just pick it up. Boom shakalaka. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great day.